Now, contributing writer to The Atlantic, Jemele Hill. Jemele, so good to see you, my friend. I mean, look, Serena's legacy, it's undeniable. I mean, she's got 23 Grand Slams, 73 career singles titles, 319 weeks as #1 in the world, 4 Olympic gold medals. I mean, why return to the game now? Pure love?
Because she can. And that's what happens when you're considered to be the greatest tennis player, the greatest women's tennis player of all time. And as you so wonderfully noted, one of the greatest and most dominant athletes ever to come from America. The other factor we have to consider here is the Olympics. She was raised in Compton. The Olympics are here in Los Angeles. And imagine what the moment would be if Serena Williams were competing for Team USA right here in her hometown. And, I think Serena, what has set her apart for decades and throughout her whole career is that she has a competitive instinct. And I mean this in the kindest, most respectful way, that is psychotic. And it takes that kind of killer instinct to have accomplished what she did. And when athletes like herself have that kind of instinct that is always inside of them and they feel like they still physically can compete, it's pretty difficult to convince them that they can't do this. And from a playing standpoint, I don't really think Serena has anything to risk. Let's say she isn't as good as she used to be, or this somehow winds up being a quote unquote failure. Given what she's accomplished, I don't think anybody's going to hold that against her. And her sister is still competing in her mid 40s as well. So I just think that she probably felt like now that she has her family established, she's got her businesses where she, she had an impressive business portfolio, that this seemed probably like a ripe opportunity for her to make a return to the sport that she loves.
I think about Allison Felix, track star. I think about Serena Williams. So often people will write off women of a certain young age and mothers after they have left for some time and only to return. And I just wonder about that aspect of her legacy as well, that this is a mother of 2 in her 40s coming back. And as you say, because she still can.
They tend to do that with women who don't have kids as well. It's like we all got some secret expiration date that nobody knows about. I think what's so great about what Allison Felix has done, and even Lindsey Vonn with her comeback as well in her 40s, is that these women athletes are redefining what it means to be, or what you can achieve as an older athlete. I think that's why for Simone Biles, the next Olympics is on the table. And as I just mentioned a moment ago, I do think a driving force is the fact that the Olympics are in America. Like if the Olympics were in another part of the world or another country, I wonder with these same athletes, would they still be thinking about it? Maybe they would. But when Allison Felix also would get an opportunity to compete right in LA where she's from as well. So I'm sure that was a significant factor in her decision. But I think these ladies are just showing that they don't have an expiration date and that people need to reimagine what they consider to be the ceiling for female athletes.
Let's talk about some who have been at the pinnacle, who are men. You've seen athletes like Tom Brady, Michael Jordan. They've come back after stepping away. But what makes her comeback different from theirs? They're both considered to be the GOATs in their own generations.
I think for Serena, it is a different kind of comeback. And I think Simone Biles experienced this too when you've already cemented your legacy. And Simone Biles had no reason to come back to the last Olympics, but she did. And I think she, even in her own right, was able to redefine what they thought a gymnast of her age was capable of. And I think with Serena, knowing